New York City hospital Karen paid for city bike at center of viral fight with black man. That's evocative. The lawyer for a Manhattan hospital worker accused of taking a city bike from a young black man who claimed he paid for the two-wheeler provided receipts that he says show she was the one who purchased the ride. Center of this. The Bellevue hospital employee who was branded a Karen on social media afterwards rented the bike first. Lawyer Justin Marino said in a statement to the Post. He also provided 2 city bike receipts for May 12th, which were timestamped just minutes apart. The first receipt reviewed by the Post showed the bike being taken out before it was relocked 1 minute later, which Marino said is the bike seen in the video. The second receipt shows another bike being taken out a minute later from the same docking station that was the bike Marino and said his client used to get home after being heckled and pressured to find a new bike. The hospital employee who Marino said is 6 months pregnant. She's 6 months pregnant? Physician assistant was placed on leave by New York City Health and Hospitals this week after a heated encounter with the men emerged online Saturday and has been viewed tens of millions of times. I suppose Insider would be better than New York Post. It was her bike, lawyer Justin Marino said in an interview with the Insider on Thursday. Marino said the bike was pushed back into its docking station after a young black man and his friends told the woman that the man had already paid for the same bike. She had reserved it, and then they pushed the bike back into the docking station, preventing her from taking it out again. Another receipt provided to the Insider shows payment for a second city bike taken out. 25-minute trip that was to his client's ride home. Everyone who's accused her of a crime of stealing the bike. It's outrageous. It doesn't make any sense. Huh. That seems pretty bulletproof from her perspective. Did you make a video on this story? Yeah, does that mean these guys, the black guys, are trying to manufacture like Karen outrage shit for social media outrage? Look at this video again.
Help me! Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike. It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Wait, what the what's going on, bro?
Please get off me!
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Yeah, now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Help!
You're not getting
Get
the bike.
off me,
I'm
dude.
not. Bro,
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
stupid as something. You're
Don't
not
touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not
I
touch his
already
phone.
fetus.
I'm not touching
One
you.
more
You
child.
putting your stomach on my hand.
Help!
My dude, stop. No, my dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help!
She's just crying.
Okay. Watching this video with no outside context makes her look insane. But if it is true, which it seems to be, unless the lawyer is just like making shit up, which would be wild, that she originally reserved the bike and then these guys pushed it back in and were just like heckling her and harassing her and like filming her and basically trying to get this kind of interaction, then
You're not crying. You're not crying. I got
It's
your
my
video.
bike. I'm drunk.
Wait, you pulled it out? Hey, Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan,
I don't give a fuck.
Hassan, you pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his. It's his. It's his.
Reset it. I'm gonna pull it out on your account.
You an actor.
I don't give a fuck.
That's just my bike. Crying.
the article also mentions there was a clinical error from the company renting out the bikes. What? Wait, what the f does that mean? Yeah, do you mean clerical error? But also, what does that mean? What error? Where? They both got assigned the same bike in the app? Are you... Wait. I need a receipt right now for the company saying there might have been a clerical error. The first article said he bought it first. No, they said she bought it first. These articles are saying that she was the first one to rent the bike. It's just so strange. Assume chat's wrong unless they provide receipts. Yeah, so I'm going to believe the stuff that the lawyer is saying here, because I can't imagine it being a good legal strategy to just fabricate that. That's pretty dumb. It's pretty easy to check stuff like that. She comes off as unhinged in the video, but maybe these guys, the black dudes around her, are deliberately doing this because they're trying to... Because we all know what kind of attention this is going to get. Videos of white women freaking out around black guys get millions and millions of views because people are all familiar with the Karen archetype, and this woman does come off as kind of unhinged. So, did they just luck out? Do these guys, like, deliberately heckle her and then try to provoke a reaction in the hopes that they could turn this into some gigantic, you know, into some gigantic online attention thing? IMO, if she's in legit distress. Okay, if she reserved the bike first, then she's completely off the hook. And it seems like the lawyer is saying she reserved it first, which means she's off the hook. She's out of there. She's out of the park. The only thing that I can think of that would exonerate now all the black guys here would be if there was some kind of mix-up or API problem, and they tried to scan the bike earlier, thought they had it, but they didn't, and then she scanned it, got in, and they thought that she was taking their bike that they had already reserved. That doesn't sound very likely, though. The double booking thing is not impossible, but it's not likely.
Go, record it.
Help! Help me! Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Hey, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Please get off me!
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Help!
You're not getting
Get
the
off
bike.
me,
I'm
dude.
not. No,
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
stupid as something. You're not
Don't touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No. I said no. I said
What is this guy saying? I can't hear him that well.
On my hand.
no, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No.
Why does at no point she clarify she paid for it? Because if the story is that all these guys walked up to her, pushed her bike back in the thing, thus locking it, and were hassling her, she wouldn't argue with them. She would assume she's being attacked. Like if you were about to rent a bike and then a bunch of guys like went up and put their hand, like pushed the bike back in and started like surrounding you, you wouldn't be going like, I paid for that. Like you would assume that you're under threat. So much of the context in this changes, like knowing that she actually took the bike out. The way this video is presented, just she looks so bad in it, like so bad. But a lot of it is purely like a vibes thing, right? Yeah, I think I'm willing to accept fault on this. I probably shouldn't have come down as hard as I did, especially with this video having been uploaded by one of the guys harassing her. Like, this isn't a video from a third party. This is a video from a first party, one of the people involved, you know? The guys are claiming the bike was on their account. The young man again claimed to the woman the bike was on his account and asked her to move before she rented another bike on the advice of her colleague. Again, as in after, like, the lawyer procured receipts? No, this was still in the video. This is just from the video. Could she have a case for defamation? Against the guy who filmed the video? Possibly. No, probably not, right? Maybe not defamation, but damages? It's possible, but I don't think so. To be fair, if she's 6 months pregnant, I imagine it's tough to maintain composure, lol. Yeah, I think I missed that during the original video watch. I didn't remember her being pregnant. But yeah, 6 months pregnant. Like, you're in a pretty compromised state. Man, 6 months pregnant and, like, biking back home from her 12-hour nursing shift. One thing to consider is that this is just the lawyer making statements, so it's also possible he's just laundering her image through news articles and press releases. No, the only thing the lawyer has done here that's changed the entire dynamic is confirming that there are receipts indicating she did indeed have the bike checked out for 1 minute before it got pushed back in, and then took a separate bike like a while later, which they then took back home. That's that completely checked, because then it's like confirmed she got the bike. So she's not like randomly trying to start shit. Did the outlets that wrote the articles verify the receipts? Insider, New York Post. I mean, yes, I see. Yeah, that's guys. Let's not be conspiratorial, okay? We're not here to like doubt the info provided by the lawyer. It would be really easy to double check that.
No. No, I
Please,
said no.
help,
I said
help.
sit down.
Please, help.
She's just crying.
You're not crying. You're not crying. I got.
Stupid.
I got
It's
your
my
video.
bike.
Up.
You drunk?
Wait, you pulled it out? Hey, Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan,
I don't give a fuck.
Hassan, you pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his. It's his. It's his.
Reset it. I'm gonna pull it out on your account.
You an actor.
I don't give a fuck.
That's just my fake crying.
Guys,
It's fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Why don't you take this bike?
Stop touching me.
I will. I can't.
Exactly. So take
Fuck out of
it.
here.
So take it.
You're stupid ass. Fuck out of here. Dumbass. Your baby gonna come out with
Wait, wait, how you stop crying?
Fuck.
Not a tear came down, miss. Not a tear came down.
The Insider article says the attorney provided City Bike receipts to Insider, saying that they prove it was her bike to take. Yeah, NBC New York also saw the receipts. It seems like a bunch of news outlets have seen the receipts. So the idea that they've been faked is not really a possibility. Confirmed then? Yeah. I still find it hard by what he's saying, how he's saying it, that he didn't genuinely think he paid for it and thought it was his. Yeah, I guess this might be naivete. 99% of the time, if you see a situation like this, I feel like there's pretty good reason to suspect, like, the white woman yelling help when it seems like the crowd is like, yo, you're in the wrong here. Because when we see stories like that, when you see stories that go viral online, especially when it comes to confrontations like this and threats of, like, you know, like what you might call Karen behavior, or like maybe some white woman is being racist or whatever the fuck else. When you see stories like this, what's important to understand is that new information can always come out that invalidates what you said previously. Even videos that seem like the most objective, like direct, verifiable, proven, done and done, like we figured it out kind of deal. You know, you could see a news article the next week that'll go, oh yeah, it turns out, by the way, this is this other video footage and there's like 2 minutes of context before it that completely invalidates the perspective and the other person is actually in the right. Every video you've ever seen of a person like fending off an attacker, in a lot of them, not to say this actually has happened, but in a lot of them, it could theoretically be the case that a longer video would show that actually they're the defender. I'm reminded of like a court case where a homeless man assaulted a guy walking down the street, and then further investigation found that the guy walking down the street was just randomly pepper spraying homeless people, like just walking by pepper spraying. And one of the homeless guys got up and attacked this guy. So in reality, like, the crazy homeless guy who attacked a regular street walking citizen was acting in self-defense against battery. There's always more info that can come out. And, like, it seems like with the info that's come out, she's been completely exonerated. There would have to be some insane circumstantial shit to, like, exonerate the behavior of the guys here. Because if there isn't, then it seems pretty clear that this was all deliberate. This was all manufactured in an effort to harass a white woman in order to, like, get a rise out of her, get a video, and then it just turned out to go viral and got big, you know? And I feel like maybe it's naive of me, but I just, watching the video, I didn't think, like, oh, what if this was just a perfect setup from a group of guys deliberately trying to set up a situation where they could, like, manufacture this quote-unquote Karen incident. That's definitely possible. Right now, that seems like it's the most likely explanation. Now I feel really bad for, you know, making the assumptions that I did. You always have to make assumptions, of course, because, again, there's no such thing as having all the context in a situation. Sometimes all you have to go off of is the video that you have. But the video that was taken here, the video that I watched on stream, wasn't taken by a third party. It was taken by one of the people who was a participant. If it was taken by a third party, then I could be maybe more assured that the time frame that it covers isn't deliberately manipulative, because the person who took the video wasn't directly involved, but the person who took this video was directly involved. Yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty bad about this, guys. Not gonna lie. But you can't not comment on any video you see online in case more context comes out, because that's always going to be a factor, the potential for more context to come out. I wonder if there's anything here that exonerates the guys. Like, the only thing that I can think of is some kind of, the issue with the bikes. Like, the guys thought they had it, but then she didn't. But even that seems really unlikely, because apparently she had the bike rented for the first time for 1 minute. Meaning she would have used her card to tap into the app or whatever, and then she would have had a whole minute before these guys pushed the bike back in, thus ending the trip and deactivating the bike's certification. And that's not likely to be a mix-up situation. People started dogpiling her husband. Oh, yeah. Stuff like this kind of, like, internet harassment campaign, like, encompasses all. Yeah, for sure. Vaush, what about waiting for more evidence? Okay, but think about what you've said. Where does that line stop? There's always potentially more evidence that's going to come out. So that's the problem. There's never actually a way to comment on stuff. Like, then you comment on, like, if it develops further, you comment further. So yeah. There's really only one thing to do. Hold on. Do what?
What?
Well, unlist the video, of course. Or delete it, or remove it. Probably unlist it. That seems the reasonable thing to do. It was on main? Okay. Oh, this was released only two days ago. Didn't this happen a while ago? Okay, it's because I was on vacation. And then for fairness' sake, this will also be released on the main channel. That seems fair. You're putting way too much stock in this not being a technology f***up? No, I don't think it was. I think these guys are purely in the wrong. Just purely like a consideration of facts. It seems far more likely to me that these guys are just huge pieces of shit who are just, like, here to harass and get content off of some poor pregnant lady who just finished a shift nursing. But why would they do that? Usually in this situation, there's something to gain. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, normally, that's why I was more inclined against her to begin with. Because normally, like, there's a motivation to do stuff bad. Very rarely, I think, is crime as simple as people are evil, haha. But, I mean, that can happen. Clout is clout. Yeah, clout is clout. That's a bigger assumption than a miscommunication. No, I don't think so. Do you think these were just a group of guys looking to antagonize a white woman? That's an insane thing to do. Yeah, but people do it, obviously. Like, roaming gangs of young men, like, harassing and attacking people. It's been known to happen. Like, you don't even have to racialize it. It happens broadly. Though it's pretty clear they were trying to, like, get, like, a Karen narrative out of this, you know? Maybe the guys genuinely thought it was also their bike. I don't think that's very likely. I don't agree with this new narrative at all, but whatever, we'll see. No, guys, think about it. If the bike was rented for a full minute to begin with, then how could this have possibly happened? The first receipt reviewed by the Post shows the bike being taken out before it was relocked 1 minute later, which Marino said is the bike seen in the video. What timeline could happen where the black guys think they've gotten the bike but haven't actually? Then it gets relocked. Then she has it for a full minute, and then they push her bike back into the thing and start arguing. That's a pretty wild. Could be an app up. Oh god. Oh, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna get myself in trouble again? I feel like you guys would be a lot less charitable to the young men if the races were reversed. I'm just gonna say it. If the likelihood of this being a misunderstanding seems increasingly low. If this was a group of, like, white guys, by the way, not even if the woman was black, if it was all white people and it was a group of, like, young white guys pestering or harassing her after we know for a fact she had the bike rented for a minute before it was pushed back in, I don't think you guys would be like, well, maybe there's an API error that would allow for them to get it, but then put it back, but then her to get it for a minute, but then they push it back, but then I think it's more likely that they're just pieces of shit. That happens. Imagine a scenario where they both come up to rent a bike and the machine by a glitch assigns them both the same bike. I guess that can happen. I'm not, like, a software expert. I just don't think that's as likely as just these guys being pieces of shit. Why would you think malice? Oh my god. Dude, like, literally everyone in chat is like, oh, it had to be... Guys, you're not, like, feeding into the narrative. Conservatism doesn't win if you say a group of young black men did something bad. You're not... It's fine. It doesn't even have to be a race thing. Groups of young men do bad shit all the time. I don't think the timeline here justifies an assumption that it was a misunderstanding. I think these guys were predatory. There's no reason to come to a conclusion one way or another in most, but that's the thing. I did come to a conclusion against her in the first video, and everyone agreed. Wouldn't it be a little bit unfairly sanctimonious for me now to suddenly be this disaffected, I can't prove what I didn't see with my own two eyes kind of guy? I think this was predation. Maybe you should wait then. You can't wait infinitely. You get more info and it's like, ah, well, what if another bit of info drops? You have to cover stuff as it happens. So now you want to swing the other way to compensate for embarrassment? No, I just don't think that it was an app error. Software expert here, it can happen if software is incredibly bad. No, guys, the problem isn't whether or not the software can make this mistake. The problem is the timeline. The bike being taken out but then relocked a minute later? Guys, think for a second. If I'm not mistaken, these bikes are activated when you reach them. You have an app and you scan something on that bike with your phone. That's how you link your app to the bike. You don't like hit a button on the app and it just gives you a local bike. You have to go up to it. So what you're suggesting is, so this is what you're suggesting, that the guy would have to go up, scan that bike, and then like wander off, and then it gets locked in the thing again, but then she shows up and has it for a minute, and then they go and push it back in its slot. Why would they push it back into the slot like that? And furthermore, why on earth are they arguing over one bike when it was a group of like 4 young guys? Or were they all going to take a bike? I know that sounds like an ancillary detail or whatever, but like it does seem kind of strange. You can reserve bikes? Okay, they're called city bikes. City bikes. Plans and pricing. Okay, how do you... Hold on. Ride experience. How do you do it? Okay, how it works. Yeah, pick out a bike, use the City Bike or Lyft app to scan its QR code, hop on, start cruising, and then park it. Yeah, you have to physically make contact with the bike. This isn't Zelda. That's true, I guess. Then how did she reserve it? I think by reserve it, they mean that she just walked up and scanned it with her phone. Vaush, people don't do that bad of a thing just for clout. I assume that's a joke. Apparently there is this city bike scam that's been going on for a long time. That's possible, Lisona, but that's like, it's like a probability thing. City bikes being swiped by joyriding scammers who have cracked the QR code. I don't think this is the same thing. Because this isn't like taking a bike she's reserved. This is another thing. Or maybe? Stealing city bikes by switching the QR scan codes on 2 bicycles near each other at a docking station, then waiting for an unsuspecting cyclist to try to unlock a bike with his or her smartphone. Because then it would unlock the adjacent bike rather than that. That's a stupid design problem. They should be engraving those QR codes. That's really stupid. But that's not what happened here. The problem here is we're completely ignoring the most likely scenario that they f***ed up. I don't think there's a scenario here where these guys made an honest mistake. I think they're just being pieces of shit. Why were we all so willing to believe that this woman was being a piece of shit in the first video, but not these guys? When we watched the first video, it was pretty easy for us to go, oh, she's like a narcissistic Karen. Like, yeah, she's like, she hates black people. She's causing shit, you know? And then these guys, who the evidence is now heavily skewed against, by the way, more so than the evidence was initially skewed against her. Now we have receipts. Before we just had a video. Why are we now having a harder time blaming them? Is it because we don't want to, like, unknowingly enable a conservative narrative? What is their motive? That she is white or just immaturely attacking a random woman? Sometimes people just attack or like harass. That this happens. It's probably happened to a lot of you, or heard about it happening to a friend. Why didn't she pick another bike? Because she had reserved that one. It had already gotten pushed back into the thing, but I think she's trying to get it out. I've had more bad miscommunications than attacks, but what miscommunication could... True 1,000 dumplings. Oh, this is an interesting turn of events. Vaush, we are not rational. Jesus, sociology guy. Okay, literally, like, you grasping at straws. Grasping at straws, all of you. All of you. All right, fine. You know what? Great. You didn't validate any conservative narratives today, okay? No young people have ever harassed or attacked someone for no reason or for clout, okay? It's never happened, all right? It's fine. It's all fine. It's never happened. Ever. It's never happened. God, I hope no cons are watching this right now and watching everyone do the skippity-doo to avoid, like, anything. Like, Jesus Christ.